Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. So, should you buy a Brawl deck, whether it be for Commander or Brawl itself? Note, I'm hella biased towards Commander, as you probably know that's my thing, but we're going to look at it for Brawl or Commander. So there are 4 Throne of Eldraine Brawl decks coming up. You've got the Fairy Schemes, you've got Wild Bounty, Savage Hunger, and Knight's Charge. These will be released on October the 4th and will cost, depends. Recommended retail is not really a thing with Wizards anymore, so it's kind of hard to work out. But 40 to 50 per deck seems to be pretty common. If you can find it cheaper, defo go for it. I have based all the pricing in this video and designed this concept of this video on Star City Games on the 30th of September, because in Australia we like to work on Star City, it's easy for us. Also, they are pre-order prices, so take them with a grain of salt. They could go up, they could go down, who knows. So when I do should you buy it, I like to base it on the value and the function of the deck. So I like to break down the monetary value, whip out that good Excel spreadsheet and show you the stats and like make your own judgment call on it. I also like to look at the function on the deck list. Remember, they're standard decks, so they're limited what they can do, but if you expand them to Commander, what can they do? The viability, the upgrade, the long-term potential on them, that's where I like to go. So let's get into it. So first thing, there are some staples in every deck. So they've all got your budget land base, but every deck has a temple in them, and right now the temples are in standard thanks to Core 2020, ranging from $2.50 to up to $4 for any of them. Each one has a commander tower in them, which is $2 as well. Every deck also has a shock land in them, ranging from the Hollowed Fountain at $10 up to a Water Grave at $15. So that's a good bit of value in one card there. And every deck also has an Arcane Signet, that infamous common artifact everyone wants for the normal commander decks. Sit about $12 right now. Alright, hope you're ready for some math. Whip out your math book, show me your workings. So I've got 2 graphs here. I've got the Star City game card value, and I like to look at it in brackets. So the brackets are cards under $1, between $1 and $5, and anything over $5. I like these 3 brackets because they can kind of work out from there. Are these high-end cards? Are they easy to sell? Are they worth more? Or are they just trash? Are they hard things to move and not really worth counting the value? So the actual deck Wild Bounty, cards over $5, there's $54 worth of value there. If you're going to the next bracket, 1 to 5, $15.50, and then the lowest bracket, anything under $1, that total is $8.75 there. So the total deck's value is $78.25. So it's quite a valuable deck actually. It's skewed up on the higher end at $54. Knight's Charge is a bit cheaper at a total of $62.75, with only $39 worth of cards over $5. Its middle bracket, it's about the same at $15, and its lower end bracket is actually the same at $8.75. Savage Hunter, which is the Jund deck, is the cheapest deck here at $59.55. Its higher end bracket is only $34 worth of cards there, and that's actually only 3 cards. That is the Commander, your Shockland, and the Arcane Signet, all right there. But it's got the highest middle bracket at $18, but it's also got the lowest bracket at $7.55. And its function's different. We'll talk about this Commander later on, it's a really weird one. And then Fairy Scheme's the most popular deck right now at $81.20 total value. It has $59 worth of cards over $5 range. That's a lot actually. Nearly the whole value of the Savage Hunter deck. But it's got the lowest at $13.50 in the middle bracket, and again $8.70 in the lower bracket. From this you kind of see where the money is in the deck, but you can also see Wizards are very careful on where they put the value of the cards. They've clearly made the lower bracket about the same. They try and keep the middle one the same as well, but I get the feeling that the higher bracket, like your higher end cards, $5 or more, it's hard to predict where the price will fall because that's really on the player base, how bad we want them, what cool themes can we build with them. Now the next graph here, the quantity of card value brackets, how many cards are in that card value bracket. So in Wild Bounty, you've only got 6 cards over $5. You've got 7 in the middle and 32 in the lower. So you know you've got 6 cards which will be really easy to move, and out of the 7 in the middle bracket, maybe half of them will be easy to move. Knight's Charge, you've only got 4 cards in the higher bracket, so less singles to break apart and try and trade or move off if you want to. In the middle bracket, you've got 8, and in the lower bracket, 32, identical to the last. Now the Savage Hunter, the cheapest deck, only 3 cards above $5. Like I mentioned, it was the Shockland, your Commander, and Arcane Signet. You've got the most cards in the middle bracket though, 11, and you've got the lowest cards in the lowest bracket at 30. Fairy Schemes, 5 cards in the highest bracket, which is actually not higher than Wild Bounty, but you've got 7 cards in the middle and 32 in the lower bracket. Based on that, you know that Fairy Schemes has a higher dollar value in the singles in the higher end. So looking at each deck independently in terms of its value and design here. So first up is Wild Bounty, and this is run by Tulane, the Teller of Tales, the Bant Commander. So this commander is 5 mana, 2/4, with really cool design. Vigilance, but whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Also, pay 3 mana, tap him, return a creature you control to its owner's hands. So that's the powerful build. On creature cast, you get draw and ramp. That's a little bit OP. And he has circular design, because he can return his own creatures back to your hand, so you can cast them again to keep getting more value out of him. And in terms of his upgradability and longevity, there's always cards being printed and banned which are going to be good for him. You're always going to have good cards in the banned colors which will work well for him. There's so many cheap, efficient creatures already throughout Magic that work well with this commander. It's a deck for the ages. In terms of the value, second most valuable, like I said, $78 pretty much, and you have a lot of value skewed at $54 over that $5 bracket. So you've got great singles if you want to even break it apart and sell it. All around a good deck there. Now the Knight deck, which is Knight's Charge, run by the Hero of Ashvale. The commander itself is a bit more expensive at 6 mana, at 5/5 though. Vigilance Menace, whenever equipped creature you control attacks, draw a card and you lose 1 life. And equipment you control has equipped Knight 0, so equipment for Knights is free. So you're locked into Knight Tribal. That's fine, that's what your deck's trying to do. And it has draw and reduction built into the commander, which is really nice. But it feels like more of a passive commander. Because if you're already on the Knight theme and trying to play a bit more of a tribal or theme, Knights obviously play really well with equipment as that's part of their thing. And well, with equipment, you need to attack to get the benefit about it. You're already playing Knights, you're playing equipment, you're already attacking. This commander just rewards you for doing that. It gives you a bit extra reduction and draw. And Knights do span across Magic. They do appear in a lot of the older sets. There's plenty to pick from and they're quite efficient creatures as well in what they do. And they often do appear in new products. And they have the benefit of being a secondary creature type. So like the Hero of Ashvale is a human knight, but you can also get Goblin Knights, Dragon Knights, Giant Knights. There's different kind of knights out there. So you could get some weird, I guess, species in there and mix it up, have a bit of fun. The value though, the deck you could round up to $63. It's one of the cheaper ones. But most of the value again is skewed over that $5 bracket, which is nice at $39. But it makes it a little bit harder if you want to break it apart and get your money out of it. Now, here's the weird one in the group. The Savage Hunger. This is the cheapest deck at $60 pretty much, in terms of total card value. And only half the value is located within 3 cards pretty much at $34. And that's, like I said, the Commander, your Shockland, and your Arcane Signet. So it makes it not really good to break it apart and try and get your money out of it. But in terms of design and function, I think it's got some great potential. The commander itself is Corvold the Fae-Cursed King at 5 mana, a Jund Dragon in 4/4 with flying, but whenever the Cursed King enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a counter onto the king and draw a card. So it's sacrifice theme and Jund. We've only seen this like 100 times the commander, by the way. So it's a very strong sacrifice theme, and it has a strong draw and buffing mechanic built into the commander. And it acts as like a strong engine or base if you want to really go into that sacrifice plan. It gives you incredible card advantage. The commander itself can become really big and become like a 1-2 shot kind of commander damage kill. So in terms of actual commander, not so much brawl, it's got flexible build options, it's got potential in the long term because, well, sacrifice and Jund is really well supported. So again, the commander itself is really good. The rest of the deck, it works well as a brawl deck, but the rest of the deck is low value for a commander deck. And the last one, the fairy deck, Fairy Schemes. So the commander is Aelia, the Artful Provocator at 4 mana, a 2/3 Fairy Warlock, really cool creature type. So she's got really good stats by default, flying, death touch, and lifelink, with a buffing effect for all flying creatures. And whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment, you create a 1/1 fairy token with flying. So all around a very powerful commander just at face value. In terms of design, it's a mix of flying and fairy tribal, but you're needing plenty of artifacts and enchantments to make this work because you generate these tokens based on casting them. And these tokens come out as 2/1s pretty much because of your commander. So it's a token generator and a lord effect in one. And because it's not locked into any tribe, it allows for indefinite future upgrades because flying creatures are an evergreen word. We'll always have flyers in Commander and Magic as a whole. Artifact enchantments will always be printed. And in this deck, you probably want the cheaper artifact enchantments that can really fly through it and generate a huge army. Artifacts will probably be the better option, I think, for most people because, well, you can't mana screw yourself because they're generic color. And the value in the deck, ooh, $81. That's a lot for a brawl deck. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I've just thrown a ton of numbers at you, pricing, some Excel goodness. God, I love Excel. What a program. And I've shown you my opinion and how I think the decks function and how they feel. So should you buy them? Yes, definitely. They are great products. I do feel like they are Commander 2019 1.5, like the next iteration. As a Brawl deck, they're great, they work, and there's got a lot of standard cards in there. So if you're a Brawl player, you probably play standard too. You're going to get some cards in these decks you can use for standard as well. As a Commander player, you got a Shockland, you got Arcane Signet, you got a really cool new Commander and some bits to get started with. So they work both for Commander and Brawl players. It's a great product there. In terms of value, again, it's not like a totally empty product. There is some value in here. If there's cards you don't need and you need to trade them off for other key pieces, it's quite doable. There is a bit of demand for a few cards in here, and having Shocklands is nice. In terms of function, I reckon they're great. All of them have a clear game plan. They know what they're doing. They've got a path for you to build along and follow. Again, great Commander product there, or a Brawl product in this case. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Are you going to be buying these products? I'm going to do Commander deck techs on each of these Brawl Commanders. I'm really excited for Alia and Tulane. I think they're going to be pretty spicy Commanders. So let me know your thoughts, guys, and have a good one. Catch ya. Alrighty, it's that time of the video. We can do a bit of a shameless plug. So thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, please sub and like. It really does help the channel's analytics out a lot. Maybe consider joining me on my other social platforms, where you can talk about anything and everything Magic related. And special thank you to our patrons. They make the channel what it is. These guys are the building blocks for Mana Down Under. They support the channel in many ways. And if you'd be interested in supporting the channel, links are down below and at the end of the video. Thank you, guys.